Life is not hard if you're not trying. You can't say you're doing good when you're doing bad. You know, the sad thing is this. I sit here and I'm homeless. Not homeless. I'm home with less. You understand me? I'm never going to admit that term homeless. I'm just home with less. You can't say there's good people out here. You can't say that everybody that's on the streets are drug addicts. You can't say that there's no hope. You can't say that nobody's good people no more. Because today I got proven wrong, man. You know, I'm trying to do what's right, and it's hard. You know, fuck. You know, I got some mental issues, and not being able to treat them right is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing good for so many years, taking the puff and pass here and there, because it stops the shit. You know what I'm saying? It stops the panic, the rocking, and all that other shit. But you know, going back on psychotropics, I really don't want to do, but I got to, because you know, I'm not a failure, and I'm not gonna sit here and say there's a reason why, an excuse, or what for. But dog, being in a situation like this makes you feel like an unwanted natural human, like you're a human that's unwanted. You understand me? And my whole life, I went through feeling like that. Like nobody was ever gonna take me in, no false. I wasn't never gonna get none of that. But I'll be damned if I let my situation dictate my demeanor towards people. I've done seen some shady shit since I've been in this little spot, and it's like, damn, that's crazy. You put your whole life on risk by doing some stupid shit like that in broad daylight. Okay, whatever. But you know, you struggle, and being home with less. You know, I got water, I got a job. You know, one place I'm volunteering at. You know, and my wife got a job. You know, she works right behind us, right there, and I work over there. So, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's crazy. You know, I'd be a damn fool to sit here and say, oh, I need a drug, I need some alcohol, I need someone to help me with this. And most of the shit, if you just stop bullshitting yourself and pick yourself up and get off the bullshit, you can do it. But a lot of people can't, and that's the bad part. There's some people who needs that addiction to feel better about themselves, and that's sad. And over years, they've been told to believe that. You know, just like me, I've been told my whole life I'm a failure. I never amount to nothing. But that's bullshit. And that's real bullshit. And you know, shit. And people know me. People that really know me, and people know the inside of me. Know that I'm not a mean to an irritable person. I don't know why wherever I go, kids and dogs and weird people like me. But it's cool. I'm glad at least somebody likes me. You know. But I'm not impressed about being liked. I'm never gonna be lonely because I got a friend with me at all times. I'm never going to be upset at somebody else for failing because they never tried. I'll be more or less down hard on myself because I know my situation and it's hard. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, I need some help. No, I need help. I'm getting it through a Wellstone. It's a mental health facility. They instantly gave me a therapist, a counselor, and a case manager. So I go to therapy tomorrow. I go talk to my therapist tomorrow. And then I go see the psychiatrist and my case manager on July 6th. It feels good, man, knowing that I'm actually getting help in this state here. And you know, I've always worked, always took care of my wife. You know, I fell off for a hot second, you know, for a couple of years, and it was on some DMX shit. But you know, it was liable to happen. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks. You know, I still got my respect and respect to my wife, and that's all that matters. And I got two sons. They might not call me dad, but I love them to death. And I've always asked my wife about them, how they doing and shit like that. And I know they probably mad at me, but it's cool. But you know, I keep my wife safe. I keep her from anybody trying to do harm to her, even though we're homeless. That's my pride and joy. That's the one thing I said. You know, if I ever gonna die, and if I am, you know, whenever I die, I can honestly take to my grave and say I was a husband. That I didn't lose my marriage or deceive it. You know, I fight for that. You know, I'm proud of that. I did most shit that most people can never do, stay in a marriage. Even when it's hard and when it's difficult, especially in a situation like this. But I am, you know, being home with less, not homeless people. Let me get this through your brain. I am home with less. I'm not homeless. See, you gotta take the luxury of taking a shit in the shower in your bathroom. I gotta go over here to the gas station and wash up in the sink and take a shit. You know, you ain't got to worry about walking through the fridge and finding something to eat, because neither do I. I got to wait for my wife to get off of work to feed me, or the gas station to feed me. You know, I just don't have the materialistic shit. The house, the cars, the furniture, the TVs, the stereo systems. I don't have that. I just got basic. And I'm kind of liking basic. Less stress, less bills, less worry. I ain't got to try to fit in with everybody I have in this type of car or look this way and dress this way. I ain't got to do none of that. And I'm kind of glad that I bounce to the beat of a drum that nobody else hears but me and my wife, because that's what defined me as a person. You know, I battled a lot of shit, dog. I've been through a lot of shit, and I'm not gonna go in detail, but I've been through a lot of fucking shit, and I'm still a fucking man out of this whole situation. I've still remained to stay a fucking man. You know, it's about the stigma that's been placed on me by law. That's why Michigan don't want to discuss this shit, because they know, even Michigan down in Detroit, they're like, man, get the fuck out of here. You ain't shit. You got set up. Bye. But it's cool. I don't let it stop me either, because I've never been not proud of myself, not one bit. I've always been proud of myself. I have respect, morals, even though I'm a street nigga that grew up in the hood. I grew around nothing but pimps, dope dealers, and crackheads, dog. And seeing people go through that type of shit, dog, fucked me up. I'm a good man. I'm educated. I got a degree. I got a couple degrees and a couple certifications. You know, I'm proud of myself. You know, at one point in River Rouge, Michigan, I owned a house on 22 East Anchor Street for almost 6 years and then lost that shit. It's crazy how that happens. But I miss barbecues, and I'll never take that for granted. I miss the fact that I'm able to wash a dish. I'll never take that for granted. I will never take for granted again be able to sleep under a science with a sound mind and knowing that nobody's coming to hurt us. Being out in public, I got to stay up at night and watch my wife sleep, and then I try to sleep during the day. Bad thing is I got ADHD too, so there's no sleeping for me. So I've been waiting to crash for the past day and a half and go to sleep. I go to court today, got the best news in the world. I got taken off color gold, put on regular probation, which is cool, which is the $600 pay, $700 something to pay, which is cool. I'll pay that. Oh shit, I should have never been on DUI color code. You know, Officer Kramer, I like you and respect the shit out of you, brother, but you lied on me, you know it. You did not breathalyze me at the scene. And when I got to the jail, I blew a .02. So, it's okay. God wanted me off of it, and he got me off of it by having a judge take me off of it today. And the prosecuting attorney, which is cool. So I'm happy about that, and I got a blessing. Like I said, I don't care how hard or bad it gets, bro. If you have an opportunity to make legitimate money and not beg and borrow and plead and steal and do stupid shit, you can save it being homeless. You can save it being homeless. You don't have no bills. So you want to get that apartment, you know you make, what, $450 a week after taxes? Stop buying the dope. Stop buying the alcohol. Save that money up. Hell, pay somebody a couple $100 to put an apartment in their name and be respectful to that person that does that for you. Don't go ruin their name by fucking getting all fucked up in your apartment, smashing the walls, tweaking, finding the wires in the walls about somebody's listening. Listen, people that's on the streets, leave the shit alone, dog. There's help out here. You got to really want it and stick with it. You can't just beg everybody for sympathy, because some of us don't have sympathy for people like you. Why? Because I've been through what you're doing. I know the difference between asking and needing and not saying. And the ones who are always asking for their handout are the ones who always want to run back to the dope dealer. That's sad. Waste your whole life. I met a girl that was only 27 years old. She looked like she was 46. Bad. And I'm like, wow, it kind of made me want to cry. But it's sad though, at the same time, because I'm fighting a mental illness. It's progressively getting worse because of my situation, because I'm so worried. I ain't been sleeping, I ain't been eating right, you know, but I don't give a fuck as long as my wife is safe. I'm good. You know, I used to tell my wife, I will fight God for you, baby. I'm telling you, my wife is the only woman and the first woman that I allowed to touch me, coddle me, caress me, nurture me, tell me she loves me, let alone sleep next to me and hold me. That woman made me a man, dog. That woman made me a 100% man. And I pushed myself to become something better than whatever I could be. And I raised her two sons as two young men, two strong, good young men. Regardless of how I felt at a certain part of my marriage, I still taught them the two sides of a man, a coward and a man. Which one you want to be? You know, their daddy was a coward. Steve Johnson was a coward. Made babies and didn't want to raise them, and then leave somebody else to take them. And then when you want to take all the credit when they start to get on. Cool. They're my sons, regardless if they're black. They just ain't got my last name, but I know more details about them than that nigga ever would. I knew why Tudor used to take the batteries out of the remotes. I know why DeMario wanted to be in criminal justice. You know? I know why Tudor likes music so much. I know why DeMario's in Naruto so much. Those are intimate shit that a dad can never get, because yet I'm a father, so I know. I'm proud of myself in a lot of things, people. But don't stop bashing the homeless, man. Not everybody's out here a drug addict. Stop bashing them, make them think they're not good people. Some of us have mental issues. You know, shit. We can hold a job, we can work, but don't put dumb shit around us because we might say something to snap. Love yourself, people that's on the street, and fix yourself. Because as you see, as long as you've been on the streets, nobody's been coming to save you. And the dude you prayed to is waiting for you to get yourself up. He'll help you once you get yourself up and seek the help right. Don't give in to the bullshit, people. Fight that shit, bro. Because it's hard. It's hard to keep your sanity when you don't know what tomorrow will bring.